is officially listed and is on sale as we speak.
Massive ad campaigns featuring Tom Brady and Larry Bird.
I'm getting into crypto with FTX.
Millions of dollars in contributions to both U.S. political parties.
FTX gave millions to groups supporting candidates on both sides of the aisle.
All just small parts of the spectacular saga that is the rise and fall of FTX. When the crypto exchange first burst onto the scene in 2019, many people thought that the company would revolutionize the crypto industry.
FTX is expanding its partnership with Visa globally.
We've been the fastest growing exchange by far.
Bringing the digital asset to the masses in a way that had never been done before. Well, fast forward just a few short years, and FTX files for bankruptcy.
FTX went from a $32 billion company to bankruptcy.
That's somebody running a company that's just dumb as
Billions have been lost, and the whole debacle is being labeled one of the worst cases of financial fraud in U.S. history. But how did FTX go from superbowl ads and billion-dollar valuations to complete scandalous ruin in such a short space of time? To understand the whole story, we have to begin with the architect of the company, a young man with a penchant for mathematics, and his name is Sam Bankman-Fried.
SBF, or Sam.
Known for a time as the JP Morgan of crypto.
He barely sleeps.
For better or for worse, people should get to know what happened.
Sam spearheaded the creation of FTX, and when it fell apart, it was him that would be left holding the buck. Fried was born in 1992 to Stanford professors Barbara Fried and Joseph Bankman. As a kid, Sam was mathematically inclined, attending math camp in the summer, and later he enrolled at the prestigious college MIT, where he received degrees in physics and math. After graduating in 2014, he worked at one of the world's largest proprietary trading firms, Jane Street Capital, and by all accounts, if he had stayed at the company, he would have lived a life of relative obscurity. But it seems like Sam had a bit of an ambitious streak, and in 2017 he left his job and moved to California, where he did a brief stint at the Center for Effective Altruism, before founding a trading firm named Alameda Research. The Center for Effective Altruism is a think tank dedicated to supporting individuals who believe they should use their time and resources to solve the world's most pressing problems.
If we're going to live an ethical life, it's not enough just to not cheat, steal, maim, kill, but that if we have enough, we have to share some of that with people who have so little.
Sam later claimed to be a deep believer in effective altruism and deliberately used generosity as a tool in his branding to win over the masses, even going so far as to get a famous YouTuber to name him the most generous man in the world.
9 months ago, I flew all the way to the Bahamas using my own money to tell you the story of a crypto billionaire named Sam.
Fried co-founded Alameda Research with Tara McCauley, the head of the Center for Effective Altruism at the time, and arguably there was never a better moment to get into the crypto space. A bull market was just beginning, and Sam quickly found huge success, utilizing the fact that Bitcoin prices varied from country to country. Alameda Research particularly benefited from buying Bitcoin in the United States and selling it in Japan, sometimes for a 30% markup. SBF employed his on-off girlfriend Caroline Ellison at the company, as well as a few close friends from college and math camp, including his old college roommate Gary Wang. As time went on, Alameda Research increased its range of operations, investing in multiple crypto projects. But just 1 year after its inception, Tara McCauley left the company along with other employees over concerns about risk management and business ethics. Considering what was to happen over the next couple years, it would seem that Tara made the right choice. In 2019, Sam and his associates decided that the real fortunes were to be made in the business of crypto exchanges and not just trading. Rolling the sizable profits they'd made from Alameda, along with money raised from various investors, Futures Exchange, or FTX, was founded in May 2019. An ironic name to say the least, considering that FTX's future was about to be extremely short-lived. One of the primary investors in FTX was Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the world at the time, led by its CEO Changpeng Zhao, or CZ. And you'll want to remember that name, because he's going to be important to the story later. FTX itself, as an exchange, focused on a product called derivatives and quickly became popular, advertising itself as a platform designed by traders for traders. The business was registered in the Bahamas, and many of the execs at Alameda simultaneously enjoyed high-level positions at FTX, such as Gary Wang, who co-founded the company with Fried. From the very get-go, the lines between the trading firm and crypto exchange were extremely blurred, and it was this that allowed one of the biggest Ponzi schemes in history to occur, and also brought about their eventual demise. In the transition from 2019 to 2020, when FTX was founded, the mainstream was already beginning to buy into cryptocurrency, and curiosity about digital assets like Bitcoin was peaking. But the company didn't just ride the wave, and instead opted to generate its own momentum. In 2021, FTX signed a huge promotional deal with Formula One, and utilized huge ad campaigns with the likes of Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen. It was a concentrated attempt to brand themselves as the most well-known and safe crypto exchange in the world. And by all accounts, it worked. In July 2021, FTX closed a funding round of $900 million, which valued the company at around $18 billion US. Not bad for a firm only a couple of years old. While retail investors were buying into the hype of the mainstream, behind the scenes, venture capitalists were also caught up in the storm of this new company and its eccentric CEO. Reputable investment firms like Temasek and Sequoia invested in the exchange, eager to get a piece of what appeared to be the next big thing. In February 2022, FTX scored arguably its all-time high, after managing to secure a highly entertaining Super Bowl ad featuring Larry David that ensured that if you didn't know what FTX was before, you sure as hell do now. Just a few short months later, they purchased the naming rights to the Miami Heat Arena, and these forays into popular culture and sports gives you just a glimpse at the mainstream acceptance that FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried enjoyed. If you didn't know any better, you would have thought that FTX was the undeniable future of cryptocurrency, truly the future's exchange. In May of 2022, Fried was so wealthy, and FTX was doing so well, that he was in a position to spend almost $1 billion, bailing out other crypto companies like Voyager and BlockFi after they experienced rapid downturns in fortune. And this led to him being hailed as the JP Morgan of the crypto world, in the spirit of his effective altruism. Fried was one of the largest donors to the Democrat Party's campaign in 2020, and was known as such publicly. But it came to light later that behind the scenes, he had also donated heavily to the Republican Party. During this whole time, Sam and the rest of the Alameda FTX team were all living lavish in the Bahamas, sharing a $40 million penthouse, ordering hundreds of dollars worth of takeout a night, and reportedly engaging in a confusing hierarchy of polyamory. In fact, if Caroline Ellison's old tweets are anything to go by, the rapid rise of the crypto exchange may have been fueled by a fair bit of amphetamines, as the team allegedly indulged in the substance to improve productivity. I don't know about you, when I picture a company valued at $32 billion, I picture an office and suits, not a bunch of kids in their 20s doing amphetamine. Despite all the mainstream success, it was that same year in November that the FTX hype train would come to a screeching halt. On the 2nd of November 2022, CoinDesk released a leaked balance sheet from Alameda Research, which showed that the trading firm was holding up to $5 billion worth of FTT, a token created and issued by FTX. FTT was not a coin that was widely traded or used outside of FTX, and Alameda Research, despite Fried's assurances about their separation, seemed to have an unusual relationship with FTX's hallmark token, which was essentially worthless outside of the platform. Just a few days later, on the 6th of November, CZ, the CEO of Binance, announces that his company will be liquidating all their holdings of FTT after recent information that has come to light. As he'd watched FTX grow to become one of his largest competitors, it's likely that CZ saw an opportunity to derail the hype train when the CoinDesk report was published, and his statement triggered a bank run that absolutely crashed the value of FTT. It was obvious from Alameda's balance sheet that the price of FTT was integral to the whole Sam Bankman-Fried empire, and when it crashed, things spiraled out of control extremely fast. As people rushed to remove their money from the platform, and the exchange found itself rapidly running out of cash, on the 7th, Sam put out a statement saying that FTX was fine and its assets were fine. But just 24 hours later, CZ announced that Binance was looking to purchase FTX.
CZ from Binance has come out and said that they're intending to fully acquire FTX.com after a liquidity crunch,
only to backtrack on the 9th after seeing the inner workings of the company and announcing that they would not be purchasing their rival. On On the 10th of November, FTX suspended withdrawals from the platform. The following day, the company filed for bankruptcy in New York, and Sam resigned as CEO. On the 12th, it was announced that there was a hole of $1 billion in customer funds that couldn't be located. At the time of this video, that number stands at around $8 billion. After the company's rapid implosion, SBF remained in the Bahamas, trying to publicly explain what happened and apologizing profusely. He did a number of interviews, insisting that he had had no intentions of doing anything fraudulent, but his apologies evidently weren't enough for the U.S. justice system, as in December of 2022, he was arrested in the Bahamas and extradited back to the United States.
Sam Bankman-Fried is throwing in the towel when it comes to extradition.
He was hit with a total of 8 charges, including a variety of different kinds of fraud, as well as money laundering, and was facing a maximum sentence of 115 years if convicted. While Sam was initially allowed out on bail and restricted to his parents' house, as new charges were made and a judge ruled that he had attempted to tamper with a witness, he was transferred back into custody. After the smoke cloud of FTX's rapid implosion had cleared, it became more and more evident what had gone wrong, and supposedly the world's most popular crypto exchange. SBF and his colleagues had been selling FTT, their self-created token, on FTX, and he'd used these essentially worthless tokens as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars. When Alameda took a downturn in trading and he couldn't make good on his debts, it was essential that FTT retain its value, and that was made impossible when the CoinDesk report and his rival CZ triggered a bank run that simply couldn't be stopped. The whole time that customers believed their money was safe on the platform, funds were being embezzled from FTX to Alameda Research. The whole scheme would have continued to work as long as people had confidence in FTX, Sam's brand, and his tokens. But as soon as the seeds of doubt were sown, it was essentially closed curtains for the crypto exchange. Everyone, from retail investors to venture capitalists alike, had bought into the hype train of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried. From its eccentric CEO and his unusual lifestyle to the backdoor fraud and embezzled billions, this was the rise and fall of FTX, a story whose ripple effects will be felt for years to come.